But Scarborough's not all candy floss, thank God. It's also a busy fishing port. They sell loads of lobsters.
Thank you.
Thank you. Not to mention whelks, winkles and cockles galore. Now this really is a trip down memory lane. The Harbour Bar, a throwback to the 60s, Formica tops, milkshake floats, and I bet they still make the best Knickerbocker glory in the world. Thank you, my love. As you'd expect, it's run by an Italian. Giulian Alonzi's family came over to England in 1896. They began making ice cream and haven't stopped since. Now, Giulian, I have to say, this brings back fantastic memories for me. It's 40 odd years since I was last in this place, I tell you. Has it changed, or is it me?
No, it's just the same.
Is it really?
In fact, you probably came in when I started working when I was 12.
Oh, really?
40 years ago, yeah. My family came from the south of Italy, a little village called Piccionesco, near Cassino, in about 1896.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the fact they walked all the way to England, they were so poor.
And why did they come to England? What the...
Because they were poor and there was no future in farming, and they didn't like the political situation in Italy, so they decided to have a fresh change. We used to street trade and we used to have stalls on the beach. In fact, I think my auntie had a dozen stalls on the beach.
Here in Scarborough?
Yeah.
Or right in Scarborough?
Down here in Scarborough. But after the war, you see, we got barbed wire on the beach.
Sure.
During the war, and of course after the war they couldn't get back on the beach, and so fortunately they were able to settle here.
The Italians are famous for ice cream,
Yeah.
but what is it that you think turned on the British to ice cream?
Well, I think after the war it was just something different. Nobody had any money really, and in this place, so this milk bar, it was quite a novelty, and it was popular from the word go. In fact, on the very first day that it opened, they took £48, which was probably an awful lot of money in 1945, but they were only open 2 hours because, of course, they had nothing to sell.
Now, in my eyes, forgive me, I don't wish to be rude, but my eyes, it looks like an American diner. Was there any kind of influence that... Is that right? Would you
Yes,
agree?
well, before the war, this country was flooded with milk bars, which were basically American-style diners.
Right.
And this is one that's kind of been left.
Two things I remember. My mum, it was a treat in our house to have coffee made with milk, we called it. But I'm sure we came in here and had milky coffee.
Yes, we've traditionally always served hot milk with Nescafe. We've sold Nescafe now for maybe 45 years. In fact, I almost think they should give us a pallet free of charge.
Well, they might do after all this.
I
now.
hope so.
And the other thing I can't remember is these Knickerbocker glories.
Yeah.
Now, where did that come from? Is that an American invention or is that Italian?
Yeah,
or?
I think so. I think it's an American invention. Actually, from what we can understand, it was based on the trousers they used to wear, the Knickerbockers, which used to go in at the ankle. And the original glasses used to be tall glasses with a thin stem. And so I think somewhere in somebody's mind, the Knickerbocker word got picked up. Yeah. Same as when you talk about a sundae.
Absolutely, yeah.
That was something that was eaten on a Sunday.
Yeah. Now that's what I call a glorious Knickerbocker glory. And when was the last time you had one?
1945.
I love it, I love it. Now I've pinched the end of the Harbour Bar Cafe to make a little dessert, and there's lots of people going past out here who are going to stick their tongue out and say hello. But nevertheless, I'm going to create a dessert for Mr. Alonzi. Italian influence and a pud with no ice cream. And it's very simple if you pay attention. We start with 6 egg yolks. I've got 4 on here already. Let's separate another 2 quickly in the good old-fashioned way. 1, 2. And into there, I'm going to put some unrefined sugar. About 6 ounces with my little kit here. There's 3, and there's another 3. A wonderful science. Now, first thing we do is we mix all those together. Get them creamed up. There we go. Just look at that luxurious colour. Now what I'm going to do is make a zabaglione. It's based on an Italian pudding, which is just egg yolks, sugar, and a little alcohol. So we're going to put in this time some amaretto, which is almond alcohol. In that goes. That looks about right. I'm going to season it extra with a little cinnamon. Here we go. Ground cinnamon. And then put in the zest of 1 lemon, just finely grated. Oh, smell that, it's wonderful. Right, and just to make it even more Italian, a little espresso coffee. Really strong, wonderful coffee. And if you don't have an espresso machine, use a little bit of instant, but make it very strong. Put half of that in there. Smell that. Egg yolks, sugar, amaretto, cinnamon, and a bit of coffee. Oh, it smells fantastic. He's going to love this. Right, now, this is where the hard work starts. I've got boiling water under here, look at this. Boiling water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some air into this. You need a lot of strength in your forearm for this job. Whisk it like mad, get lots of air in there, and start to cook those egg yolks. Now, we don't want to cook it too quickly, otherwise we won't get enough air in there. And we don't want to cook it too slowly, otherwise I shall be forevermore amen. You are allowed to change hands. Now this is just about ready, and the way to test it that it's cooked is actually just to watch this and see how it just sits on top there, and it takes 2 or 3 seconds to disappear. So now, having done that, you'll never guess what the next job is. You've now got to beat it cold. Now I think the secret to this is put it into a cold bowl. So we'll turn the heat off, we'll take this and we'll put it into a clean bowl. Use one of these lash licks to get every last little bit out. The reason we want to get it cool is because this is a cold dessert. We're going to put this in the fridge, and I'm going to put some whipped cream in here, and if it's too hot, the whipped cream will melt. We don't want that to happen. And once you've got the cream in there, just gently fold it in there. You don't want it to spoil, okay? Lovely. Now, take some of these little ratafia biscuits in the bottom, a bit of the coffee that I kept, a little bit of amaretto. There she goes. Now spoon this on top. Try not to make a mess down the glass turner. Not too much, it's very rich. Just look how it drops on there and blobs on. Touch of coffee. Perfect. Just take some of these amaretto biscuits, crush them like a grape over the top. A little bit of icing sugar, a bit of cocoa powder, and there you have it. A perfect sweet from Signor Alzoni. Well, that's all from Scarborough. Time to me to be heading off home. Come on, Neddy, let's go. Walk on, walk on. I wish you'd come with me.